hey, Mr. Garden. Hey, I'm with the city. How do you do? Okay, okay, listen, I'm here about the new reservoir that's potentially going to be built around here. Have you noticed anything strange ever since that meteor landed in your yard?
We've been having a hard time, honey mouse girl. We've been having a hard.
Alright, sorry I disturbed you. I'll come back another time. You're clearly distracted. Hey, would you have liked a movie to watch on Halloween that would have absolutely scared you to death? Or if you're a seasoned horror veteran, at the very least leave you satisfied? Well, I've got the movie for you then, H.P. Lovecraft's The Color Out of Space. And let me tell you, this has been one of the best movies I've seen all year. To me, this ranks alongside the likes of Parasite and Joker as fantastic films. Now, for those who don't know, this is an adaptation of the H.P. Lovecraft story of the same name, and it's also intended to be the first film in an all-new cinematic universe based on his work. Now, I've only read a handful of the stories myself, and I can safely say this. After watching it, I wanted to read the story, and I did, and that led me to my first positive thing to say about this movie. It is so true to the source material in all the right ways. Yes, some things have been changed and updated, but every change has been reasonable. They didn't cut out a plot thread here. They didn't alter a character's fate for no real reason. Everything makes sense and it is cohesive and respectful to what came before it. That's one thing that I love about this film. But as for the story itself, it's about a man who purchases a farm, hoping to live an all-new life out in the countryside with his family. And as that's going on, there's also a new land development where a reservoir is going to be made that may also include his land. But then, a meteor crash lands in his yard, and it brings with it some pretty weird things, as a mysterious and indescribable colour starts appearing everywhere, and whenever it's found, well, gruesome things eventually occur. Which of course leads me to my second positive thing to say about this movie. It is legitimately scary. It has gradual build-up. The director knew when to actually build up tension before releasing with a good fright, and it doesn't blow its load right from the get-go with constant jump scares. It saves all its best stuff for the third act, and oh man, the effects in this movie are fantastic as well. It uses both CGI and practical effects, and admittedly, it does kind of lean more in the direction of CGI, but it's good CGI. Even when it's at its arguable weakest, it's actually not that bad, and the practical effects, when they're there, they are easily on par with The Thing. I mean, the scene with the llamas, if you're squeamish, then this movie is going to look like Hostel to you because of that one scene. But of course, there's also the question of the actors. How do they do their job? Really well, actually. Everyone gives a solid performance regardless of what role they're in. Even the child actors, they're good too. This one little kid who you think would more than likely be the one to kind of ruin the movie for a lot of people, he's great. And the best actor in the bunch is undeniably Nicolas Cage. Though, admittedly, despite getting top billing, he doesn't get a lot of screen time. In fact, he doesn't really have much of a presence compared to the other actors. Instead, the focus tends to more be on his character's daughter or the guy who's surveying the land for the reservoir. Which is a shame because it means we don't get to see a traditional Cage freak out or see him really use his acting skills. So if you're expecting the movie to be like with Mandy, I'm sorry, but you're going to be disappointed in that regard. But hey, his performance is still good. Another criticism I would levy against the film is that it can be obvious when a scene was cut or something was altered for the sake of time. One that particularly stood out to me was how the trees are utilised. In the story, a particular thing that's brought up once in a while is how the trees are moving at night regardless if there's wind or not, strong or weak. Well, that only comes up once in the movie for an admittedly well done, but still out of nowhere, jump scare, which was kind of disappointing. But hey, maybe there's a director's cut that'll come out soon that'll have all this extra stuff that was definitely taken out of the theatrical release. And who knows, it might be the definitive version of the movie. Or it could have been taken out for a very, very good reason. Now, outside of all that, that's all I have to say on this movie. If you are lucky enough to see it in cinemas, dude, I am so jealous. But for everyone else, if you can find a copy, DVD or Blu-ray, grab this film. It is worth having in your collection or streaming if you see it. It is undeniably one of the best movies to come out in the last year or so. So Color Out of Space, I can wholeheartedly recommend, and I also recommend you read the story and get a proper introduction to the works of H.P. Lovecraft. Hey, thanks for checking out this review. I really do appreciate it, and if you guys really, and I mean really, just really enjoyed this video, then please feel free to also subscribe to the channel. As well, I cannot apologize enough for how late this is. I've been swamped with all sorts of stuff, from work to other projects, and I'm just behind in a lot of areas, but I'm trying to get caught up on the videos right now. And up next, I'll have a review of SpongeBob Sponge on the Run, as well as an upcoming review of the latest expansion for Destiny, Beyond Light, and I'm going to try to end off the year with a review of Cyberpunk 2077, as well as 2 things I'm going to do instead of a typical top 5 and bottom 5 movies of 2020. I've got all that and more coming up, so please stick around.